Hello everyone, it's Shannon with Shannon's Crafty DIYs. Welcome to my channel. Today I am in a fun challenge called Unusual Pumpkin DIYs. It is hosted by Jackie with Crafting in Mimi's World and Tammy with Happiness Created. I will go into their channels a little bit later in the video. So today I have technically four, you'll see what I mean in just a moment, really unusual pumpkin DIYs. Well, unusual to me because it's not usually what I do. So let's begin with the DIYs. So DIY number one, just taking this palette from the Dollar Tree, just removing the sticker and just using some yellow and red just to make a burnt orange color look. This is just Deco Art acrylic paint, really good. And I don't have orange, so I like to just custom make it myself. So I'm just using one of those trays from the Dollar Tree, and you'll see here in just a moment, I'm just going to paint the entire palette with 2 coats of paint. So once that's dry, I'm also using these wooden cubes from the Dollar Tree. So this DIY is actually considered, I would say, 2 DIYs in one palette, and I'm going to make some mini pumpkins using these wooden cubes. So I painted one with the orange, and I'm going to paint 2 just with the Waverly chalk paint in antique wax. So once they are all dry, I am going to take this stem. This is just a remaining stem from one of the bundles of flowers from the Dollar Tree. Again, you've seen me do this before. I just love using my needle nose pliers. It does have a trimmer on there, so I just cut off 3 pieces of this stem. It does look wood, obviously, because it is a stem. So I just cut it to size, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of each small cube. I will show you what I do in a moment with the palette. So I'm kind of backtracking here. I didn't put the stem on the palette yet. I'm just going to take some of these gorgeous rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to pick out a word and a couple of little leaves. So I'm just going to pick out the word thankful, and these you can rub on just with your finger, but I do like to use my embossing tool. I know they have the Cricut tools. I do have it as well, but I just haven't used it in any of my DIYs yet. But you can use this just to help make sure that the transfer sticks on well. Remember, these DIYs are all customizable. You can make them any color you want, add as many rub-on transfers as you like. So I just added a little tiny leaf right beside the word thankful, just gave it a little extra touch. You could add more leaves on there if you wanted. So here is my stem. I have used this stem in one of my DIYs in the tier tray challenge that I was just in on the 5th of September, just taking another cinnamon stick, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of the center of the crate to make it look like a stem. And I didn't show you this part, but I just hot glued another one of those cubes to the back of the palette just to make sure that it stands up on its own. And now I'm just going to take some of this ribbon that I found at the Dollar Tree this year. I feel like it was last year's ribbon with the label, but I thought it was super cute and it goes well with my DIYs. So again, I'm just making a simple shoelace bow, just cutting off the ends, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the cinnamon stick. And then I'm just going to use some of this pre-packaged raffia that I picked up from the Dollarama. I'm just going to take the beige one out and just make another simple bow, and I'm going to just hot glue it to the center of the other bow. And I'm also going to make a few little mini bows to put on the wooden cube pumpkins as well, just to make them up the cuteness factor. So this is the end of this DIY. I think this is 2 DIYs in one with a palette and one with the cube pumpkins. Totally unusual to me. Pumpkins do not look like this in traditional pumpkins, so I loved how these turned out. I hope you enjoyed this DIY. So before we move on to the next DIY, I just wanted to let you guys know Jackie with Crafting in Mimi's World and Tammy with Happiness Created have created this wonderful challenge this month. I would love it if you guys could go over to their channels and say hello. They both love Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, you name it. They love crafting. So please go over and say hello. So let's move on. So DIY number 2, I am taking these pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree, just cutting off the tags. Now, funny how they put these tags on. They are actually like in the foam pumpkin, so I kind of had to push the rest of the plastic piece into the pumpkin, if that makes sense. So I'm just removing the stems, and I'm going to go over each of them with, actually these took 3 coats of white acrylic paint. I did paint each of the stems gold with the gold acrylic paint with Decor art. Now with the actual pumpkins, I'm taking some painter's tape and I'm going to tape around where I want to make a design. So I'm going to paint it. I did try painting it with the gold acrylic paint. It was not working. So I'm taking this Rust-Oleum gold and I'm just going to spray paint them. Now make sure you stay far away from them because you'll see up close they did drip a little bit, so the lines aren't super straight, but they still turn out to my liking. So putting the stems back on, I'm just going to take some jute twine and I'm going to add the wooden beads. Again, this is the 4-pack of different sizes that I got from Amazon. This is a while back, so these beads are lasting me forever. Anyway, so I'm just adding 3 beads to each end of the jute twine, and I'm just going to tie them in place. So this is it for the second DIY. So for the smaller pumpkin, I just added a cute little jute twine bow to the top as well. These are so adorable. I got that little mini pumpkin from Dollar Tree as well, just painted it white. Yes, I love these. So last but not least, the third DIY, just taking one of these pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. And this one I actually bought last year, but they are out again this year. So I'm just removing the sticker. I'm just showing you here. I didn't need a hot gun, a heat gun or anything like that. I just pulled it off really slowly and it came off pretty easily. So now I'm just going to paint the base just with some black acrylic paint, and again I'm taking these stickers from the Dollar Tree. They are letter bubble stickers, but I'm going to give them almost the whole sheet a coat of 3 coats of white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to use my blow dryer to dry them in between drying time. So I'm just going to add them to the outline of the pumpkin. Now you're probably thinking, why didn't I do this first and then paint the stickers? I just figured because the stickers were black and they had lettering on them, I just wanted to make sure that they were fully covered first. So yes, I'm doing the outline and I will paint the whole thing white as well, just to make sure that it all blended in. Doesn't it kind of look like an apple here? So yeah, you'll see here, I'm just using my white acrylic paint again to paint the pumpkin. I did use 3 more coats just to make sure that none of the existing wood was showing through. So once that's all dry, I'm going to take these word rub-on transfers again and take the word gather, and I'm just going to place it just on the lower right of the pumpkin. Again, you guys can customize this to whatever you like. And you'll see the stem, I did go over it with some Waverly chalk paint and antique wax. However, I didn't think it went well. I didn't show you this part, but in the end, you'll see that I painted the stem black as well. So I'm just going to take some of this buffalo check ribbon, make, again, another simple bow. I didn't tie it like a shoelace. I just kind of folded it over, squeezed it in the middle, and then I'm just going to hot glue an extra little piece around the center. Also, be careful if you are just using your fingers. The hot glue is super hot, so if you have those finger protectors, I would say go ahead and use them. And taking some more of these wooden beads. This is the 8mm. I should have told you that before. It was an 8, 10, 12, and 16mm package. I can leave that link in the description box just so you can go and take a look at Amazon. So I'm just painting them black, and I'm just taking, again, I always show you this. I always have a scrap or a bag full of scraps, yarn, burlap, whatever, you name it. And they always come in handy. So I did have some black yarn. I'm just going to hot glue it to the center because I'm going to make some little dangly pieces. What do you call those? And just while you are watching, I would love it if you guys could also go over to my Instagram page, say hello. It is ShannonscraftyDIYs. There I also post some videos. I post some Dollar Tree finds as well. Just a really fun way to interact with me, and I will say hello. So here you'll see once the beads are threaded through, I'm just going to hot glue the whole entire bow to the stem of the pumpkin. And this way I'm going to just see visually how long I want these dangling pieces with the beads. So I'm just adjusting here, and then I will be able to tie a knot just to make sure that the beads don't slide off, and I will cut off the excess. And I find with the beads, it was just weighing the yarn down, so it just went straight down, if you know what I mean. So I just hot glued each string to the back of the pumpkin in order to separate them a little bit. And then I'm just going to dovetail the end of the ribbon. Again, you can angle it as well, whatever you want. So this is the pumpkin. I think it turned out super adorable. You can tell I did the stem black. This looks kind of more modern to me as well with the word gather and the white pumpkin, but I just love it so much. What do you guys think? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys head over to Jackie with Crafting in Mimi's World and Tammy with Happiness Created, and I'm also going to leave the link to the playlist in the description box as well, so go over and say hello. Remember, I do post videos every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at the odd time of different days. So click that bell button right beside the subscribe button. Click all. You will be notified every time I upload a new video. All right, guys, that is it. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you at the next video. Bye.